Anyway, here we are.
It's
Thursday
time
morning.
for Roske on politics. Lots of stuff to get to, so let's dive right into it.
Lots of stuff to get forward to. If you saw a car parked in the middle of the street this morning with the door open and the engine on and a guy in a coat running down the street, I was chasing this. Let's see the photo. That little cat is our little cat. Now, I just want to talk about, that's our California Pomeranian, but that's Thomas. He's a sweet little cat and got let out of the house while we were actually in Milwaukee. Spent 2 nights outside.
Oh, no.
I was driving here to come here, and he's wandering down the middle of the street. So literally, I learned something this morning. You cannot chase a cat back to your house. You can convince them to follow you. So also, Thomas, you got to be hungry, don't you? So that was me. I was running a little late this morning.
It's like herding cats.
So it's like herding cats. So the ARL, we adopted those 2 great cats, Thomas and Abigail. The holidays are coming up. They have great deals. You guys have every, last chance for pets. The ARL in town here has many great animals waiting for homes. They're wonderful animals. So anyway, happy to have Thomas. I was going to show the picture. Hey, if you've seen this cat.
Oh, yeah.
And on the drive here, I'm like, there's the cat! Jumped out of the car, left the car. Anyway, back to politics. So, happy
So
resolution.
to answer your question, he's both a cat and a dog guy, so you know.
I like the pets. We like the pets. I'd open, like what John Stewart just did, open up the ranch.
Yeah, I heard about that. Is that
Would
cool?
do it. If I had the bucks, forget all this. I would go help.
There you go.
That's what I would do. Anyway, back to politics. So where was I this week? I was in Milwaukee, which means the cats got locked. They were inside safe. We had someone there. They let the cat.
What are you going to do?
Did you bring back cheese curds?
No, I brought back I brought back some clips though from the debate.
Okay,
How about that?
Bam! First, though, we're going to, there's been a little bit, the CNBC debate, there was a little kerfuffle with how the moderators handled that. And then the Fox Business moderators seem to have a better reaction. So what I'd like to show first, Jeff Kaufman's been on the show here a couple times. He is the chairman of the Iowa GOP. And you're going to see more of this Sunday on Roske on Politics. But this is Jeff Kaufman talking about journalists. I thought that'd be interesting. Let's take a look. You mentioned that you support Reince Priebus's letter to NBC. Was it just a negotiating tactic, or do you think it's possible that NBC will not get the debate?
Oh, I think it's possible.
Really?
I've had a conversation. I can't give away the details of the conversation, but the national chair and I exchanged 2 or 3 text messages since that debate. I believe, knowing he did not tell me this, but I believe, knowing Reince Priebus the way that I do, Reince Priebus doesn't bluff. That's the one thing about him, and quite frankly, it's the thing I like about Reince Priebus. Sure, all politicians will leverage something with a threat. Reince Priebus, if you read that letter, knowing him, I don't believe he's bluffing. I think there's a real chance.
Your job is to know the real temperature of the folks in the room here. Are most Iowan voters in agreement that they didn't like the debate?
Yes, and I'm going to a little later on. I've got a speech I'm going to make, and I'm going to ask them directly. I'm going to ask the crowd, "What'd you think about Reince Priebus's decision?" My guess is that might be the biggest applause line today. I believe they thought that it was inherently unfair. I told one reporter yesterday, my Iowa political reporters, honest to goodness, I really can't tell what their voter registration is. I really don't know. Maybe got a guess. You can attest that. I mean, I give the credit to our Iowa reporters that I don't know that. I think they're doing their job. I've talked to a lot of national reporters. I don't have a clue what party you are. I really don't. And as long as you're fair to me, I really don't care. Because your job is to report on me, not for me to recruit you, although we can talk later. So that's you're going to see more of that from Sunday. That was from the GOP. The GO Party is what they called it. It was on Halloween. We basically got 2 episodes out of that. You'll see Governor Bobby Jindal this weekend. You'll see Senator Lindsey Graham. If you want to go meet one of the candidates who participated in Milwaukee, Rand Paul is doing an event today, Pizza Ranch in Altoona. 3 p.m. he's going to be at the Winterset Public Library. So you can just zip over there, and especially Winterset, middle of the day, probably not going to be a lot of people. So if you want a one-on-one time with Senator Rand Paul, probably going to have question and answer the whole thing. So that's 3 o'clock
noon
today.
in Altoona?
Noon at Pizza Ranch Altoona, 3 o'clock Winterset Library. I wanted to show one other clip, though. I was, in fact, in Milwaukee, drove over there for the GOP debate, and so it's a circus, it's a madhouse. I've seen the videos of there's the candidate and there's 50 cameras around him, and we really are spoiled here in Iowa. We don't have to go through that, but all the other journalists go through that. Actually, the next day we were at breakfast, the local Fox station. showed me and Santorum was the side of my head. They couldn't get their guy. I don't know. So I would guess I was the stand-in guy for Fox local anyway in Milwaukee. But Montel Williams was there in the spin room. Obviously, other congressmen, you'll see a week from Sunday me chatting with the senator from Wisconsin endorsing another candidate. But Montel Williams is a 22-year-old veteran. Was talking about veterans issues. Let's take a look.
I've been here all day because I'm anticipating the debates to make sure we can see if somebody will hold all these accountable, a little bit more accountable for military and veterans issues. And as you see, they all punted it right down the road, and this is what they're all going to continue to do. This side and the other side. And finally, some of these guys is going to have to stop and actually state what they claim they're going to do. To say you're going to be the best commander-in-chief in the world with no experience whatsoever, not even working with anybody in the military, is really bold for them to say. And then to stand up there and after being asked now the third debate, give me specifics, and no one has them. So that's why I was here, and I'm disappointed, so maybe I'll see something better in the next group.
You're a veteran.
22-year worth of veteran. Yeah, so.
And thank you for your service, sir. What were you hoping to hear from them on that regard?
I was really hoping to hear at least someone have a definitive, make a statement. I have a plan to help move issues for veterans forward. Not this hypothetical, I'm going to fix it because I'm so great or because I'm pretty or whatever else they said. Let's talk about specifics. And if we can get that done, then I think you might end up seeing a lot of military people maybe fall in line and look for a candidate that respects what we've done for this country.
This was the fourth debate. How do you think it differed from the others?
I would definitely have to hand it to Fox for doing an incredible job and literally paying very close attention to the tenor of the questions. It was really kind of a class act to watch the reporters understand it, whether they know or not, leaving their personal out of their facial expressions and their tone when they ask a question, kept this at a pretty nice and even-keeled debate.
So that was, what was that, Tuesday night? We drove there and back. This Saturday night is the Democrat debate. It's at Drake University. Everyone's coming into town for that. Later today, Yahoo News is doing a big panel with some actors, etc. So, and again, the Rand Paul event. So I think, and if you guys have, you know, I watch this station and other stations, all the ads during the news especially are already starting to be candidates. So it's really starting to get hot here in Iowa.
Do you have a ticket for the debate on Saturday?
I will be there Saturday. I will be in the spin room again. And I was just telling these guys while we were showing that clip, you know, the reporters, they've got their little handheld mics on boom poles. So when they talk, they just go in there, people on ladders, and it's just it's a mob. I was talking to Governor Jindal's lovely wife. She was like, oh, yes, we loved your house when we visited, but we were just standing back watching this circus because the fact is, when they do the events in Iowa, a great room is 25 people. That's a good turnout. But when they do a national thing like this, they're just mobbed like it's very exciting.
We don't know how good you have it sometimes.
That's right. No, I do. Appreciate Iowa's first in the nation status.
There you go. So tell people when they can see all this.
This Sunday, you'll see more from the GOP party. Again, Senator Lindsey Graham, Governor Bobby Jindal, more with Chairman Jeff Kaufman and others. Charlie's Old's on the show. That's Sunday, Channel 5 at 9:30, this station at 11:30, Channel 19 at 5:30.
Perfect. Got you covered. Perfect.
Boom.
Good job.